How's it going, Ayo? In this video we're going to talk about Britney Spears scaring fans, Meghan Markle bashing the royal family yet again, and Russel Brand being investigated by police. Alright, so fans have been expressing a lot of concern for Britney Spears lately, especially considering that she posted a bizarre new video dancing around with two massive butcher knives. The stunt looked pretty dangerous as she was holding the razor-sharp blades and moving around. To make matters worse, the caption said, "I started playing in the kitchen with knives today." The whole thing comes across as extremely dangerous since Britney clearly isn't trained to hold or handle knives like that. At one point she claps with them and starts jabbing them in the air. While she claims she only started playing with the knives that day, it has been said that she had a fascination with them for quite some time. In fact, when her conservatorship came to an end, those responsible for her care made a list of recommendations, and one of them just happened to be that she should keep away from knives. According to TMZ, multiple sources say that Britney feels knives are a form of protection, and she keeps them all around the house, including in her bedroom, because sadly she was paranoid that someone was going to get her, and apparently with her ex Sam Asghari out of the house, she needed to feel protected. Last month it was reported that he packed up his belongings and moved into a new apartment, and ever since then there's been a lot of speculation over just how much money Britney has been paying in this divorce. It's been reported that she's the one who has to foot the bill for his new apartment. According to inside sources, she's paying $10,000 a month for Sam's new place in one of the most high-end apartment buildings in LA, which is apparently the standard cost of a unit in that high-rise. While this might sound generous to some people, it's most likely just a part of Sam and Britney's agreement, and something that they'll need to work out as their divorce goes ahead. I mean, living arrangements are usually the first thing that gets discussed when marriages break apart, and so far this divorce just seems to be getting more and more complicated. It was recently reported that Sam's lawyer is going to challenge the prenup, which will almost certainly end with Britney writing him a fat check, most likely in the amount of several hundreds of thousands of dollars. While the two of them are not exactly on speaking terms at the moment, sources say that they've also come to an agreement on their dogs. Sam gets the Doberman and Portia, and Britney gets their 4 remaining dogs, including the Australian Shepherd, Sawyer, and the new puppy Snow. Britney said she was a little shocked that her 6-year relationship came to an end. While we don't know the exact reason for their split, Sam cited irreconcilable differences in a divorce petition that was filed. He asked that spousal support and payment of legal fees be paid by Britney, which is not all that surprising, and that's the reason why so many fans are protective over her in this situation, and one of them is actress Octavia Spencer. So when Britney and Sam announced their engagement in 2021, a lot of people were very suspicious about him and worried that he was going to try and control her. Octavia Spencer seemed to have her own suspicions, and she commented some pretty crazy advice on the Instagram post announcing their engagement. She literally wrote, "Make him sign a prenup," which is kind of hilarious. Britney seemingly followed the advice, and Sam did sign an ironclad prenuptial agreement before marrying her last year. In theory, this should have protected her from having to pay out big money to him, but it's since been reported that yes, he is trying to get that prenup renegotiated in the wake of their split. Apparently, he's also threatened to reveal some embarrassing information about her if the contract isn't adjusted. And once again, Octavia commented on this report. She wrote, "Extortion is illegal, full stop," which is absolutely true, because if the rumors are correct and Sam is threatening to share this information, it's considered to be a crime and it's straight up blackmail. In his own post on Instagram, he wrote, "After 6 years of love and commitment to each other, my wife and I have decided to end our journey together. We will hold on to the love and respect we have for each other, and I wish her the best always. Asking for privacy seems ridiculous, so I will ask for everyone, including the media, to be kind and thoughtful." For her part, Britney spoke out for the first time since the announcement, and she explained that she couldn't take the pain anymore. In an Instagram post, she wrote, "I'm not here to explain why, because it's honestly no one's business. I've been playing it strong for way too long, and my Instagram may seem perfect, but it's far from reality, and I think we all know that. I would love to show my emotions and tears on how I really feel, but for some reason I've always had to hide my weaknesses." Britney said that she would be as strong as she can for now, and said she was actually doing pretty damn good. Rumors of their marital struggles were reported in US tabloids all throughout this year, so as with most marriages that just didn't work out, their breakup is probably going to be for the best. And now, what has Meghan Markle been up to? Many have been wondering what on earth she has in store now that her Spotify contract has come to an end. So what is next for her professional life and her career aspirations? Well, new reports have come in claiming that Harry and Meghan have been wanting to short-circuit the time frame that's needed to heal from the cloud of toxicity that bound them. Ed Corin James, who is a PR and crisis management expert, broke everything down. He insisted that the two of them have a need for separate career paths, and he even went as far as to urge the couple to put more distance between themselves and the royal drama that surrounds them. He started the entire conversation off by saying, once a brand has become as toxic as Harry and Meghan's, it is a long and difficult path to recovery. By separating out their joint brand and trying to forge ahead with two distinct and different brand identities, the Sussexes are hoping to short-circuit this process. Apparently, the idea is that by resetting their brand, they release some kind of toxicity. James explained that even though this will not fix their current reputation, it is definitely a good idea and a step in the right direction. And that might be exactly what they need right now. When Harry and Meghan had their multi-million-dollar Spotify contract scrapped, it seemed like everyone had an opinion on it. There were tons of conflicting reports, but the main one that went around suggested that it was their fault that the series was cancelled. The claim was that the couple simply did not hold up their end of the bargain when it came to pumping out enough content. A source close to the situation told the Post that the Archwell media company didn't produce enough to receive the full payout of the $20 million deal. Spotify was also said to be unhappy at the pace in which they were working to create these new episodes. That did seem to have some truth to it, since signing the deal in December of 2020, they failed to produce any solid programming until the Archetypes podcast a full 2 years later. The series was off to a great start in its early days, and it even reached the #1 spot on Spotify's charts at one point in time, but it eventually slowed down and dropped 22nd place by the final episode's release in November. Even though it wasn't the most popular podcast out there, Meghan did receive a Gracie Award for it, which is an award that celebrates programming specifically made by women, for women, and about women. In the 9 months since the final Archetypes episode aired, there has been no word from either party on what listeners can expect in the future, although a spokesperson from Archwell Productions said that Meghan is continuing to develop more content for the Archetypes audience, but just on another platform. And she seemed to be very proud of the 12 episodes that she had created. In fact, she even called the podcast a labor of love. But this rebrand might be a part of a bigger decision for both Harry and Meghan to stay out of the headlines for as long as possible. During a segment on GB News, it was said that the couple decided that they don't want to be in the spotlight anymore, and that we won't be seeing very much of them. It's been reported that they are going to stop making tell-all Netflix documentaries, publishing memoirs, and taking part in interviews that reveal the inner workings of the royal family. One source close to them spoke to The Sun and said that that period of their life is over and there is nothing left to say, but they hope that 2023 will be their year of reconciliation with the royal family. So basically, they've said all they needed to say, and now they're hoping to lay low for a bit and rebuild some of these strained relationships that they left behind in the UK. This news is certainly interesting given just how much the couple have been criticized for insisting that they want privacy, but at the same time appearing in interviews and making allegations about the royal family. So it's possible that they have now realized that they just cannot keep talking about the royal family forever, and it is well and truly time to move on. And now, things are getting very serious for Russel Brand, because he's being investigated by police. That's right, British police have opened a crime investigation triggered by all the news reports that have been going out about him. London's Metropolitan Police Force said on Monday that they had received a number of allegations of offences after a TV documentary and a newspaper came out. They did not name Russel Brand in their statement, but they said that detectives were investigating allegations of non-recent offences, both in London and elsewhere. Quote, "We continue to encourage anyone who believes that they may have been a victim of an offence, no matter how long ago it was, to contact us." This news comes after several women made allegations of SA against Russel Brand, and more stories have been coming out about him. His YouTube account, which has 6.6 million subscribers, has also been suspended following these serious allegations. The company released a statement saying this decision applies to all channels that may be owned or operated by Russel Brand. Other channels associated with his YouTube page are Awakening with Russell, Football is Nice, and Stay Free with Russel Brand. The actor and comedian still has a presence on Rumble, which is a video site popular with a lot of conservatives and far-right groups, and that's why his channel has 1.4 million followers. The allegations were made by 4 women in a Channel 4 television documentary, The Times and the Sunday newspapers. The accusers, who have not been named, include one person who said she was SA'd by him during a relationship when she was very young. Another woman says that he took advantage of her back in 2012. The 4 allegations date from between 2006 to 2013. Police said since those claims were made public, they have received a report of separate claims dating back to 2003. For his part, Russell has denied everything and issued a video message on social media to call out what he calls very serious criminal allegations. He did this just hours before all these allegations were published on Saturday. Quote, "These allegations pertain to a time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in newspapers all the time, when I was in movies, and as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very promiscuous." He basically said that during this time of promiscuity, promiscuity, the relationships he had were absolutely always consensual. But despite his proclamation of innocence, he's already starting to see some very serious consequences. His management agency Tavistock Wood terminated all professional ties to him. They released a statement saying Russel Brand categorically and vehemently denied the allegation made in 2020, but we now believe we were horribly misled by him. Then Paramount Plus removed one of his stand-up comedy specials, and the BBC said it removed some content featuring him from its streaming platform iPlayer and BBC Sounds. Russel was also set to do a string of live gigs, but promoters have now postponed the remaining dates because of all the controversy. And now that all of this is happening, some people are looking back at old clips and interviews with him, and they're seeing these as serious warning signs of his problematic behavior. So shortly after the release of the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall, actress Kristen Bell told interviewers that she had to intimidate her co-star Russel Brand to make sure that he understood that she was not interested in a relationship with him. During an interview with the Scottish Daily Record, she said that she was aware of his womanizing and made it clear that she was not going to tolerate his advances. She said she initially found him attractive, but she lost that attraction when she read up on how he treated women. Quote, "I had no idea who he was until I googled him and saw what a little stinker he is with the ladies. He kept reminding us every 10 minutes of how famous he is in Britain by going, 'It's so weird not to be recognized here.'" She went on to say, "He didn't fancy me at all. In fact, he went out of his way to tell me how grotesque I was." While Kristen also praised him as an actor and said that she loved working with him, you can see why her comments are now being looked at as early red flags and that we really should have noticed. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.